Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. So I have another journal flip through for you today. This is my 2021 Unraveling journal, and I have it in this tiny little A6 Artist in Bloom journal that I learned how to make from taking Nazi from Amity Bloom, her course. It's called the Artist in Bloom journal course. It's just these cute little journals. I actually altered my construction of my journal just a little bit from how she creates hers, just to suit my own needs, but it's basically an Artist in Bloom journal. I highly recommend this course if you're looking for a class to take that is creative. I really enjoyed Nazi's class. And so yeah, this was my Unraveling journal for last year. And I have a lot of videos about what an Unraveling journal is, and like process videos working in my Unraveling journal. Just go on my channel and hit like the little search bar that's in your the channel, and just put Unraveling journal, and they should all come up there. But it's essentially a journal that I keep for self-discovery and self-reflection. And so this year, I actually haven't shared my Unraveling journal, but it's this one, so I've gone a little bit bigger. My original Unraveling journal back in, I think, 2018 or 2019 was about this size, but I am using this to document my one little word as well. I'm taking Ali Edwards' course, but I'm also using it for my whole unraveling process. But last year was this tiny little book, and I was actually going through, as I was doing it, some ideas and some prompts, because I do kind of want to make a course out of this. It's just I really don't know how to structure it at all. And so a lot of prompts that I've come up with, just journaling prompts, just to self-discovery and self-reflection. I did try them out in here, but yeah, I just want to do a flip through of it. And so I have this little card here. I actually should put like December 2021 on that. But yeah, I just kind of wanted to come on and give you a little flip through. This is just an introduction. A gentle unfurling was my word or my phrase for 2021. And it's still a phrase. That is like just my mantra, a gentle unfurling, or my motto, or just my guiding phrase for like my life. It's a beautiful phrase. It was gifted to me by Seuss. And yeah, I just love it. It just kind of encompasses everything that I strive to do every single year, which is to learn a little bit more about myself, in that sort of peeling back the layers of the onion sort of way. So that's the little introduction. This, I always have a stats page, which is just, I wrote hello, I'm my name, and then just me right now. New beginnings. I really liked this journal because I got really tactile with it. There's like a lot of stuff happening, fabric and all the things. A timeline of my life. I always do one of those. And then this is me documenting my one little word for the year. And my one little word was a gentle unfurling. And these are just my supporting words. I always do this little tag thing where I have tags that I write out my words and do the journaling in, and then I always put them in little pockets like this. These are my little wallpaper swatch tags that are in my shop, and then a lot of this stuff is crepe paper, Maggie Holmes. These little pocket envelopes, I believe I was doing I was writing out my hopes and my dreams on these little punched out kind of scallop circles, and I just housed them in these cute little envelopes. So yeah, again, a lot of this stuff was just me kind of experimenting with little journaling prompts for this course that I would really love to share. It's just not even created yet. There's just a lot of ideas. It's still all very much in an outline format, but it's basically a class on how to keep an Unraveling journal, and like what I do, what I write in here, and like processes just to get to know yourself a little bit more. And it's just a course that I wanted to incorporate journaling, like creative journaling like this, but also self-reflection and photography, like taking the lens and looking at your life through your lens, and just art and being creative, but like discovering yourself through your creativity and stuff like that. So it is a big one. It is a big one, and I've been like kind of mulling it over for years, for like maybe 2 years now. And yeah, so a lot of that were just, a lot of this journal is just a lot of self-reflective prompts that I was coming up with on my own to kind of do for myself. Creative photography, creative self-portrait, that's what I like to call it. A mood board or a vision board. I love vision boards. I think this was my spring vision board. Just, things that I would like to, I guess, manifest in my life, my dreams, hopes and dreams. Like this journal, it's not only about me and like my own personal self-growth journey. It's also about, housing hopes and dreams and things that inspire me. So it's kind of like a lot of things put together. And I really do enjoy keeping a book like this every year. A list of things that inspire me, and I like to use images that are pretty and things that I like using materials and papers that, I like. This was my summer mood board. Little notes to self, that I jot down and put in. I like exploring like my personality more, so I went in depth on my Enneagram here and just wrote out like a lot of things that resonated with me in terms of my personal Enneagram. I'm the Bohemian, so I'm a 4-wing 5. I do the same thing with the Myers-Briggs, so I'm an INFJ, which is the advocate. And again, just writing out things that stand out for me personally, because these personality types are very like I don't want to say vague. They're very broad. That's the opposite of vague. They're very broad because they're supposed to encompass like a broad set of people, and things, and not all the time does all of the points in this personality type like relate to you. Like the majority of them probably will, but not all of them, and some of them will relate even more to you. And so in my unraveling journal, this is what I do. This is what I document down here, is like the stuff that really, really relates to me. And then I use that to journal out things. So like journal out how this kind of affects me and how I react to different things. But I like having the actual like factual stuff in my journal as well. And so I did it this time in this one. I love this. INFJ. I am an overly emotional, unemotional, clingy, but distant private person who likes to overshare at any moment, and I'm still trying to figure out how that works. And this is just my breakdown of my INFJ-ness. But yeah, I thought that was funny, so I had to put it in my journal. But it's true. I don't know if you're an INFJ, you know that you are overly emotional, unemotional, clingy but distant, private person who likes to overshare. It is true. We're like a conundrum, I like to say. We're a misconception. We're a contradiction, a walking contradiction. That's the word. But yeah, INFJs don't make any sense. I'm definitely a person who is an emotional, unemotional person. Like I react to emotions very strongly. I'm very, very emotional. So emotional, but like if you see me on the surface, you wouldn't think that. You would think I have everything together, because I come off unemotional, but I am deeply, deeply emotional. It's so strange. And the whole clingy but distant, like if I say that you're my people, I really love and cherish my people, but at times I can also be very much a hermit, and kind of retreat. And so it's just how I am. Like I'll have my moments where, I need to be with people, and I need to be with my people, not just people in general, just my people. And then there's some moments where I'm fine not being with my people, like being alone, being by myself. It's very weird. There's literally no sort of balance between the two. It's just sort of like extremes in a way. And then the private person who likes to overshare. I am very shy. I'm very quiet. I don't like telling people deep inner things, right? But I do like sharing. I like sharing my life. I like sharing stories. I like sharing my experiences. It's very odd. It is very odd. And I always thought that there was something wrong with me, right? I always thought there was something wrong with me, especially as a teenager. I'm like, there is something definitely wrong with me because no sane person flip-flops back and forth between two extremes. But I always did. And lo and behold, a lot of it is because of what type of personality type I am, or types, what type of personality types I am. And I think the next page here is me going over what my birth chart means. So this is all like astrology. And I know this is more of like a woohoo sort of thing. And if you're not into this, that's completely fine. I don't really read very much into horoscopes, but I do believe your birth chart says a lot about you in terms of your personality, and how you easily or not relate to other people. And so this was me studying my birth chart. But I think all of this stuff, just kind of when you look at your personality type or your many types and all the different things, you can just pick and choose the stuff that relates to you, and I use it as guidance. Just like, okay, that makes sense why I do this, or that makes sense why I act this way, or that makes sense why I react in that way. And that's how I use it. And so I like to jot down things every so often. I didn't do this last year in my Unraveling journal, but I did it the year before, just to kind of refresh, and see myself in a different way. Sometimes a lot of like writing all of these facts down jumpstarts journaling and how I can relate to relationships with different people and stuff like that. And so this is where the lots of journaling happens. I got into love languages. There's an excellent book. I wish I had it on my desk. I don't have it right now. It's called The 5 Love Languages by Gary Chapman. I did read it. The original is geared towards married couples, but I think there's a singles one too, and there's one for teens. But the one for the married couples, that's the original. That's fine to read. It's like this thin. It's a very quick read. But learning about your love languages and how that affects your relationships with anybody, with like your parents, with your best friends, with your partners. Oh my God, so insightful. And so of course I wrote, down my love languages, like the ranking of my love languages. And then that led to all of this journaling. So yeah, I do fun prompts like this, like the soundtrack of my life. This was actually very difficult. I just kind of wrote a bunch of songs that, were prominent in certain areas of my life that were very significant to me. So when I think about the song, like when I think about Because I Can, I think about high school and trying to go through all the many different emotions and the feeling of unworthiness and knowing that I am worthy and that I can do all the things because I can. That whole album, actually, the whole Because I Can album by Katie Rose is a pinnacle of my life. And so that would be part of the soundtrack. I have other songs here, like Radio by Lana Del Rey is a song that I always listen back to. And it was the first time, that represents the first time that I traveled abroad with my best friend. And that was such a life-changing experience for me. And so that's the song though. That's the song that represents that. I can go down all of these songs, like Beautiful Day by U2. That song represents me losing my dad. That was the first song that I put on his slideshow at his viewing. Was that the slideshow opens up with that song, only because it's a song of redemption. That's what it is. Like the hope, I mean, I don't know how many of you are religious or spiritual or whatever, right? But the bridge of that song talks about seeing the world, right, as it is. The oil fields, like just seeing the world as it is, how it's beautifully imperfect, and then it Bono, he ends with it, seeing the bird with the leaf in her mouth. And after the flood, all the colors came out. And we all know that, seeing the rainbow is a sign of hope. It's a sign of the promise, right? So that song, I put it as the first song of my dad's slideshow because it's beautiful, Yes, it's a sad thing that we're all here gathered together for, but just know that his life was beautiful and the life afterwards will be beautiful too. And there is a promise of seeing him again. But that song in general, just that whole time period of my life, that was like a good like year and a half, 2 years of my life that I had to go through. That song represents that, it just represents that hope, right? So yeah, like all the songs. The one after that is Run Away With Me by Carly Rae Johnson, which represents my misadventures in Southeast Asia with my best friend. Like, so many things just happened on that trip. That trip was another life-changing trip. I mean, it was a 3-month trip. And so many things that could go wrong went wrong. But that song is so happy. And it's just, it's just experiencing life with somebody that you really, really love. And knowing that you can just go anywhere with that person and that person will always be there and you will always be there for that person. Just all of the songs, they all represent something. And I think this is a really good exercise, is just kind of look back at your life and see what were the sounds, what was the music that was the soundtrack behind all of those experiences. It's very insightful when you actually really sit down and think about it. And like the songs that you come in, and I like doing all of these exercises over and over again. So when I look back through all of my unraveling journals, a lot of the same exercises. I've done a lot of the same exercises over and over again, and I can see the different changes. Like, I always start my journals off with, of course, my one little word. That's always a thing, and that always changes because every year you have a different word, guiding word. But this stays the same. This is the timeline of my life. I always start my journals, my unraveling journals, with a timeline of my life. The only thing that changes is the stuff that gets added to the bottom because I'm adding to the timeline, because every time a year passed, there are new experiences that happen that need to be attacked, on like at the bottom of the timeline. And my timeline is just events that were, I guess, turning points in my life, or that I felt that were turning points in my life. So like the day that I was born, that was a big turning point in my life, The day that my dad passed away, that was a huge turning point. But like just, the day that I met my best friend, things like that are huge turning points. And so the timeline, I noticed, the timeline does change sometimes. Like sometimes when I revisit some of these like journaling prompts and stuff like that, what I document changes just a little bit because depending what is on the surface of your consciousness at the time now, and what you remember from then, that's what you document, right? And so you always get a different thing. So like if I come back this year and write the soundtrack of my life, will it be these same songs? I don't know. It might be. There might be new songs here that represent things that I remember or recently experienced, but some of the older songs might change too. And that's what I really love about going back to these prompts and just redoing them. And that's what I really like about my unraveling journals, is because they house a little piece of me each year. Like this is where I was then, now, or whichever year it is. And the process of writing and documenting things, little gems kind of pop out, I call them epiphanies. So they're little epiphanies that you have about yourself. Yeah. quiet moment. And I think this is the last entry that I have here, what I know now, and it's just a bullet list of things that I know to be true now. I do this a lot. Like, I actually have an entire art journal of things that I know now. I think I called it This I Know, and all of that wisdom, very different, I think, from the wisdom that I wrote here. Because again, we each are going to grow, we're going to change, things in our lives are going to teach us new things. And when you revisit certain, I guess, evergreen prompts, they prompt you to write different things. And so I really love doing that in my Unraveling journals. And I really, one day, when I can figure out how to organize this behemoth of a course, I would love to share that with you. I do share a little bit of my unraveling process in my my little collective, my little Patreon membership on my website. So if you want to become a lovely patron and join my little lovely collective, I'll leave a link in the description box down below. A lot of my current one little word process, my current unfurling process, I think the whole, my whole one little word thing, actually, in my new journal, I did all of that for my patrons. And so a lot of that stuff, as I'm working through the course, it ends up with my patrons. So if you're interested in seeing any of that, definitely check out that. You don't have to join, but the link's in the description. I'm just telling you what's over there. But yeah, one day, I will share this. I will share all of my prompts, all of the things that I do to keep a journal like this. Because I know a lot of you journalers and memory keepers, you kind of like the whole introspective thing and like the whole personal growth journey and sort of like being a better person and always striving to kind of work on yourself, right? I think journaling goes hand in hand with that. A lot of self-discovery in the process of journaling. And I know for a fact that people who watch my videos and follow me on Instagram and stuff like that, you're my people. Like, we like the same things. We value the same things. And I'm pretty sure a lot of you value the whole self-discovery process. And so one day I'm hoping like next year, if I can just like nail this. I need to really nail it. Right now it's always just been a big swirl in my head. I don't know how to organize it. I think that's the big issue, because I have tons of prompts that I can share. It's just I don't know how to organize it. But yeah, I just wanted to come on and show you my completed Unraveling journal for 2021. Very small. I was hoping for it to be bigger, but what I ended up doing in 2021 was creating these tiny little journals similar to these, but they're just little A6 journals. This is my current massive journal, but little A6 journals, and so I have quite a few of these, and they're my lovely journals. I document everything in here. It's like a catch-all, and I started doing a lot of the unraveling stuff in those little journals. But the next one that I make, which is this one's all about my unraveling though. But I think the next one that I make will be the one that I share with you in the course. Hopefully. I'm working on a different course that'll come out before this one, but I'm hoping to get this one too, because it's just been on my mind. And I don't know why I keep rambling on about it right now, I guess because I'm showing the journal. Anyway, I just wanted to come on and share my journal with you. I really hope you enjoyed this little walkthrough of it. Thank you so much for showing up here and for watching my videos and for leaving lovely comments. I know every single one of you. Like, I know people. I know, like, I feel like I recognize you by your handles and your names whenever you get something for free or buy something from my shop or subscribe to be a patron. Like, I'm like, oh, there goes Nancy, or hi Kelly, and like I know your names. Kasia, Lydia, like I know your names. I know I seem very kind of I feel like I seem very aloof a lot of the times because I'm not very good at commenting back on comments, especially when I'm going through a lot of mental and emotional stuff. I am terrible. I'm even worse at like commenting back during those moments, but I just want to say I see all of you and I appreciate you so much. You are all very supportive. You all leave wonderful little comments when you do, and they truly make my day. Even if it's just a handful of you, I see it. Even if it's just, oh, I'm just going to buy this printable today, and it's just one printable. I recognize everyone that keeps coming back. And I've been trying to do this thing where I'm mindful of all the good things in my life. And it's pretty much strangers, people that I've never met in real life. I'm very grateful that you're here and that you continue to show up, especially when I feel like I'm not showing up enough. But yeah, I just want to say thank you. A very long-winded thank you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for watching this video, and I hope I come back with some more videos very soon. So have a great day, friends. Bye.